What do you think happens when operators get their pricing maybe wrong? So if it's too low or too high, how would an operator potentially know what to look out for?
Exactly that. Too high, no one's going to come to your space. Too low, you could have nobody come to your space because there's something wrong. That price, it's too good to be true. And on the other side of it, you might have a waiting list. That place is for nothing. You can go down there, you can get all of this for very little. So it's all about, I suppose, it's all about flow in and out the door, and that all comes back to the supply and demand matrix and how pricing affects that.
What do you think will be one of the kind of dangers of just undercutting competitors? I think especially if an operator is starting out, and I know a lot of people who listen to these episodes are starting out, or maybe they're considering scaling and things like that. So they've probably been looking to kind of find their footprint in the marketplace that they're in their particular location, be it a city or kind of a suburb or somewhere more rural. If they're looking to position themselves around other spaces, and they're looking at the pricing side of things, what do you see as kind of the risk of comparing yourself and potentially undercutting?
First question I have to ask is, can you actually undercut? Is that a sustainable business model? If you go in and you still have your overheads. If you have a competitor probably not too far down the road, you're probably experiencing the same type of per square footage cost that they are. And that goes for any type of neighborhood that you're in. So is undercutting a feasible model? First of all, you'd have to run the numbers on that. And then the other thing, like, do you really want to be seen as the guys that are starting the race to the bottom? And again, it all comes back to perception and brand as well. I think you need to be careful with that.
Other kind of pitfalls that you might see people fall into, maybe like hidden fees, unclear structures around pricing.
Look, we all hate hidden fees, we all hate hidden fees. Not even hidden fees, like just the fees that aren't explicitly expressed to us. Like they may be in the finer print, and you may perceive them as hidden fees or hidden costs. The operator will argue that they're not hidden; they're there in the finer print. But I just think being transparent with your costings. Nobody likes to be caught with having to check their bag in because it's 5 centimeters larger than it should be according to some gauge when you're getting on a plane. So I wouldn't be, I think you need to be very clear on any hidden charge, and not hidden, but I mean additional charges. I mean, we're all in the world of upselling, upselling and trying to sell more to customers you have is easier than going out getting new customers. That's an accepted principle in business. So providing different service levels within, the realms of what you can deliver, and being very open and transparent about that is always going to be an effective way to drive more revenue through an asset or a resource that you have in play. So I mean, people. I mean, so like, if the coffee is going to be free, say it's for free. I know there is operators that are charged for coffees, they charge for whatever, but if printing is going to be charged for, have a good system in place, make sure that it doesn't become a drain to your cost center. Honesty policies are something I'm starting to see come through more and more. Honesty boxes and things like that in co-working space. And again, you'll only get away with that in certain types of co-working spaces that have membership base that know each other. But I think the key for me in anything when it comes to pricing is transparency. Once people know what they're paying for and they accept the extra cost because they've signed up for that, I think, no, as I said, none of us want to fall into a cost that we didn't realize we were going to have to cover.
Absolutely. I think simplicity as well when it comes to bundles and things. When operators are looking at how they actually price the different services and then offer them to one member or company. Simplicity around those, not overcomplicating them, because a confused customer typically doesn't buy. So you're putting these bundles together to attract people, but actually if they're too complex, they're just going to confuse them.
And that's the other thing. I mean, we've all been there. We've all looked at a bill of some sort, right? Be it an electricity bill or a phone bill and gone, what the bloody hell is this? What am I paying for here? And it's not even, sometimes it can be the smallest amount of money, but it's the principle will drive you off your rocker,
Thanks for tuning in to Flex That Works. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss our next episode. Connect with us on LinkedIn, watch the full episode on YouTube, and you can explore free tools and resources over at baseworks.co. This is Flex That Works, powered by Baseworks, here to help you scale your workspace, making it simpler and less stressful.